Hey everyone, now I will look into the oligopoly practice questions. The first one, the term oligopoly, this means a few firms producing either a differentiated or a homogeneous product. Number two, mutual interdependence. This is going to be C here, where it says one firm must consider the reactions of its rivals when it determines its price policy. Okay. Going forward to number three, it says the kink demand curve of an oligopolist is made based on the assumptions that competitors will follow a price cut but ignore a price increase. This is because everyone wants to increase their market size. Number four, the kinked demand curve of oligopoly is useful in explaining why, let me see here, it's going to be this one, why oligopolists' prices might change infrequently. Now, I'm going to go and take a look at the next question, which is question number 5. And this one is asking us to find the marginal revenue curve. I have two demand curves, two marginal revenue curves here. So what is going to be the marginal revenue curve? Remember, we have a broken marginal revenue curve, and this is going to be MR2 A B MR1. This is the marginal revenue curve. So this is a kinked model, and this one is got a break in between. So this is the one here, MR2 AB MR1. Going to question number 6 here. Let's see what they're asking us to do. Here we have a payoff matrix for two firms operating a zipline duopoly in a resort town. If both firms collude, what will be the industry profit? And both firms would offer how many rides? Rides each. Okay. What is the Nash equilibrium here? So to find the Nash, you have to compare each column. Look at the first number in column 1 and column 2 and choose the highest of the numbers. Like column 1, I'm going to choose 3000 because 3000 is greater than 1000. Column 2, I'm going to choose 6000 because 6000 is greater than 5000. Now the next thing you do when you try to find out the Nash equilibrium is then you look at the rows and you compare the second number and choose the highest of the two numbers. All right, row 1 here, 3000 is greater than 1000, so I'm going to pick up 3000. Column 2, 6000 is greater than 5000, so I'm going to pick up 6000. In this question example, this is going to be the Nash equilibrium. That means whatever is your strategy, your rival do not want to deviate. However, what is this question asking you? This question is asking me if firms can collude. That means they want to collude and they want to behave as a monopolist. Why would they do that? Because they definitely want to increase their industry profit or individual profits. So if they collude, they would choose a better outcome than the Nash equilibrium outcome. So they are going to choose this cell here, because if they're colluding, instead of selling 100 rides each, they're going to sell 60 rides each, and the profit for each farm will be 5,000. So for each of them, there will be a profit. I'm just going to write here, each farm's profit will be equal to 5,000. But we have two farms here. The total industry profit will be equal to 10,000. Let's writing down. And both farms would offer how many rides each? This is going to be 60 rides each. This is how you do it. Question number 7. They're asking us the outcome of this duopoly game will gravitate to which cell. Already, let me see here the answer to this question. So basically, I'm going to find the Nash Equilibrium outcome of this game. You do it the same way, like you compare the first number in each of the columns. Column 1, 30 is greater than 20. Column 2, 15 is greater than 10. The next thing you do is you are going to look at the rows. You are going to compare the second number in row 1 and also row 2, and definitely choose the highest of the two numbers. Row 1, 30 is greater than 20. Row 2, 15 is greater than 10. So what is my Nash equilibrium here? So the Nash equilibrium is where I have two circles, or one circle, or in which of the boxes I have one circle and a square. So this is the Nash here, where given my opponent's action, I do not have a tendency to deviate. The outcome of this duopoly game will be D. As long as you follow the rules, it shouldn't be that difficult. All right, sorry, I was moving too fast here. We looked at question number 7. Now I'm going to go and take a look at question number 8. Question number 8 is basically the same as question number 7, which cell represents a Nash equilibrium. This is going to be cell D. This is what we did in question number 7. Now go take a look at question number 9 here. It says, with collusion and no cheating, what is the outcome of this game? First, I want to find out the Nash equilibrium. I'm going to go really fast this time because right now I feel like we just need to get the hang of this thing. You just need to follow this simple rule and you can solve this game in a couple of seconds. Column 1, comparing 800 and 600, I picked up 800. Column 2, comparing 1200 and 1000, I picked up 1200. Row 1, 800 and 600, I picked up 800. Row 2, 1200 and 1000, I'm going to pick up 1200. So I'm just showing you, like in this ones, first of all, I'm trying to find out the Nash equilibrium, and then I'm trying to find out with collusion. That means if these two oligopolists, they're like colluding, trying to behave as a monopoly, what will be the outcome of this cell? You can do it even without finding the Nash equilibrium. I just want to show you that cell D is a better outcome than cell A, because as you can see in cell D, both the firms can do better than what they did in cell A, because the profit in cell D is 1,000 and 1,000, and definitely 1,000 and 1,000 is better than 800 and 800. So my answer to this question is going to be D. You have to be super careful here. Some of the questions are asking you to find the Nash equilibrium, and some of the questions are asking you to find the solution of this game where there is a collusion and no cheating. In most of the cases in collusion, the outcome will be more efficient than a Nash equilibrium outcome. Going to question number 10 here. This question is asking us what is the final outcome of this whole game. All right, columns. Let's be really fast here. Column 1, compare -10 and 0, pick up 0. Column 2, compare 15 and 10, pick up 15. Now I'm going to work with the rows. Row 1, -10 and 0, pick up the higher number, which is going to be 0. And row 2, compare 15 and 10. You are going to pick up 15. Okay, so this is basically the Nash, like we have two Nash equilibria in this game. But this is where we need to be really careful about what the question is asking. The question is asking if this is a sequential game and Bob moves first. What is a sequential game? So far, what you looked at was simultaneous games. Simultaneous games means players are moving at the same time. But if you have a sequential game, one player moves before another player. Here, Bob is going to move first. Then the other player, who is Sam, the other player is going to move after Bob. What would Bob do here? Which one would he choose? Cell B or cell C? If Bob chooses cell B, he would have a profit of 15 and Sam would have no profit. If Bob chooses cell C, Bob's profit will be 0 and Sam's profit will be 15. Definitely Bob is going to choose cell B because Bob has a profit of $15 compared to cell C, where he has a profit of $0 or no profit at all. So my answer to this game will be B. Okay. Remember the key: sequential game and Bob moving first. Now let's go and take a look at which question is this one. I believe this one's question. Yeah, this is question number 11. All right, what can you... okay. If this is a sequential game, but we do not know who moves first, what can we say about the final outcome? We do not know who moves first. So we can have either Bob moving being the, excuse me, erase this part. Either Bob can be the first mover or we can have the other person who is Sam, the first mover. If Bob is the first mover, he is definitely gonna choose B because he's gonna get 15 if he chooses cell B. And if you all recall, the first number in each of these boxes is for the person who is on the left, and the second number in each of these boxes is for the person who is on top. Okay? Now, what happens if Sam moves first? If Sam moves first, he's definitely gonna choose cell C because here his profit will be 15 compared to 0 if he chose cell B. So my answer will be B. Cell B and C both represent possible Nash equilibrium outcomes for this game. Right, moving to question number 12. We have a payoff matrix in duopoly in which the numbers indicate the profit of either an international strategy or a national strategy. And are they asking to find a Nash equilibrium? Yes, they're asking when the game reaches a Nash equilibrium, what will be the payoffs? So if let's say when I'm looking at A here, I'm going to look at the columns. When I'm looking at B, I'm going to be looking at the rows. And also the first number is for the person who is on the left, and the second number is for the person who is on top. So A is 3 here, A is 15 here, definitely gonna be choosing 15. 5 here, 17 here, gonna be choosing 17. Now look at the rows here. B is 3, B is 15. I'm gonna be choosing 15. B is 5, B is 17. So I'm gonna be choosing 17. The Nash equilibrium outcome will be this one. So let's just use another marker here. This is the Nash. And payoff for each of them is gonna be 17. Question number 13. The so-called first mover advantage may be observed in sequential games. Question 14. In competing with rivals, oligopolistic firms will tend to use advertising because it is less likely duplicated than price. 15. A major reason that firms form a cartel is to maximize joint profits. Question 16. Cartel is a formal agreement among firms to collude, and definitely this is illegal in the United States. The famous cartel is the OPEC cartel. That is the cartel of the oil producing and exporting countries of the world. All right, coming to question number 17. We have a payoff matrix, a duopoly in which the numbers indicate the profits in millions for each firm. If firm A adopts the low price strategy, then firm B would do what? All right, looks like Right now, let's see here. Farm A is adopting a low price strategy. So this one are farms B's options, or what would farm B do here? All right, farm B has two options. Farm B can either choose 200 or choose 175. Like for high price, it's going to be 200. For low price, it's going to be 175. Which one do you think farm B is going to choose? Definitely 200 over 175 because 200 is greater than 175. So what is really messed up in this problem is they should have written B in front of A. All right, they should have like done it this way here. Like, let me see here. So I could just write here because B is on the left. The first number is for the person on the left here. That makes this question confusing. I can write it this way for you. 325. That way, like looking at this question, visualizing this question, this makes it difficult. Okay. So basically, farm B is going to be choosing a high price strategy here. High price, and that is 200. So this is the answer to this question. All right, so here we have some sequential form games, or this is an extensive form game here with sequential and extensive form, where we need to solve this game using backward induction. All right, let me just try and read this question here. We have there are no airlines serving the city of South Podunk, both accommodating airlines and friendly flyers. I love the names here. Are looking to enter that market. There are just only two airlines. The figure shows in extensive form the possible outcomes of the two firms' decisions. The payoff represents in thousands per month the profit or loss the firm will realize from this decision. What is the solution of this extensive form game? All right, AA and FF. Take a look at A, B, C, and D. The first number in brackets is for the first mover, who is AA, and the second number in brackets is for the second person, who is FF. Now, there are two subgames. I'm going to start from each of these subgames. Let's just highlight the subgames here. So this one is a subgame. This one is subgame 1, and this one is subgame 2. What am I going to do now? I'm going to be looking at the second numbers in brackets for each subgame and compare. All right, take a look at the first subgame here. So this is the first one. I'm going to work with this one first. And this is the second. subgame. Compare 5 and 0. So I'm looking at what FF would do in each of the subgames. To enter, if FF enters after AA has entered, FF's profit will be 5, and if FF does not enter, don't enter, the profit will be equal to 0. So FF, what would FF do? Definitely FF would choose to enter because 5 is greater than 0. Now take a look at the next subgame, subgame 2, where AA is not going to enter and FF has a choice between entering and not entering. So if FF enters, FF has a profit of 10. If FF does not enter, or I'm going to just say here, don't enter, the profit will be equal to 0. So FF is definitely going to choose to enter because 10 is greater than 0. Now, which are the cells, like which are the outcomes, chosen outcomes from here? So because we choose enter here, 5 is greater than 0. So from subgame 1, my outcome is A. From subgame 2, because 10 is greater than 0, my outcome is going to be equal to B. So basically we are starting from the next step here, the last step here. Now AA knows all of this. So then this is all of the first step here. Now this guy, AA has a choice of either entering the market or not entering the market. So if AA enters from the first subgame, the outcome is A, which is 8 and 5 in brackets. From the second subgame, the outcome is B, which is 0 and 10. Now AA has a choice between which two numbers? So AA has a choice between 8 and 0. Remember, the first number is for AA. AA is definitely gonna choose this number, cell A, over cell B, because 8 is greater than 0. So this is the outcome of this sequential form game. What's the solution here? The solution is both airlines are going to enter this market. AA is going to enter, followed by FF, who is also going to enter. So 8 and 5 is the solution, and both airlines will enter this market. This is called solution by backward induction. We need to know what the second player will do at the last stage of the game, and then we will work our way from there. Find out what the first player will do. Okay, question number 19 is, let me see, is it similar to this numbers here? Yes, this is exactly similar here. Oh, what does this extensive form game indicate about the decision to enter the South Podunk market? Both airlines are better off by entering this market. You can just solve it very fast. 5 is greater than 0, 10 is greater than 0. Then next you are comparing 8 and 0 here. Solution from the first subgame, solution from the second subgame. Because A is greater than 0, A is the solution to this extensive form game. Alright, question number 20. Cartels are difficult to maintain in the long run because people want to cheat on agreements. Question 21. The likelihood of a cartel being successful is greater when cost and demand curves of various participants are very similar. 22. The kinked demand curve model of oligopoly embodies the possibility that changes in unit costs will have no effect on equilibrium, price, and output. Definitely. Question number 23. If an industry evolves from monopolistic competition to oligopoly, we would expect the 4-firm concentration ratio to increase because the firms will have a higher market share. The next one, question 24, the 4-firm concentration ratio for the industry described in this table is going to be how much? So I'm going to look at the market share of the first 4 largest firms in this industry. So this will be 20, 20, 20, and 20. This is 80%. Question number 25. If X and Y both have 4-firm concentration ratios of 70%, but the Herfindahl index for X is 2500, while for Y it is 2000, this suggests that X has a greater market power than Y. Alrighty, these are all the questions, and I hope you will enjoy learning this chapter because this is one of the most realistic market structures that we see in real life. Thank you very much.